What is going to be the best type of website platform for you to build your business website? So I'm going to be talking about the two main different types of website platform that you can have. It's going to be self-hosted or a managed one. And there's some things to consider when you're thinking about building a website. And so I'm going to be talking about each one. I've actually used both. And I want to be able to help you today to see what are those differences between self-hosted and a managed platform. I'm going to be talking about my move. I made a big move with my website last year and kind of the reason behind that, and some things to think about based on kind of my experience with that and what might help you if you're considering creating a website for the first time, or is the platform that you've chosen right for you? Can you grow into it? We're going to be talking pros and cons. So this will really help you to kind of hopefully give you some more insight, help you make an informed decision, and help you pick the platform that's right for you. I'm also going to be doing a bit of a show and tell as well, just to show you the platform that I use, because it's got some amazing things inside of it. So I'll say we're going to be talking about both areas, and then I want to show you some cool things as well to help you out. So, welcome to today's Brilliantly You Business Show. Really excited to have you here. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Jenny Stevens. In case we are meeting for the first time, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoy this episode. Do make sure that you're following me, subscribe to whichever channel you are on. And I help coach and train other home business entrepreneurs, online business owners, helping you to build your business online, attracting your perfect customers to you, creating leverage in your business. So you can really create leverage utilizing your talents, your time, and your trust. So I help you to help with your limiting beliefs and mindset around it as well, that comes along with the package of being an entrepreneur, right? So it's all about helping you to make more sales and impact without the self-doubt. So I love geeking out and talking about techie things like we will today, a lot of marketing stuff, and also the mindset and what it really takes to get over all of those humps and that come along the way. So thank you for joining me. If you are here, say hello, or whether you're watching this live or on the replay, join in the conversation with me today. Comment in, let me see who I've got here, so I'll come back and reply to all comments as soon as I can. So first question I want to ask you, I'm just curious for those of you who are here and you're watching, do you currently have a website for your business? One that you have created? So just drop me a 1 if you have, or just drop me a 2 if you haven't, or you can say yes or no, whatever you want to do. But I just kind of want to first off see where you are, where you're at. Have you got a website already, or have you not? And it's something that you've been thinking about doing. So just share that with me, just so I can kind of see where you are. And especially if I'm coming back and replying to comments, I might be able to help with the kind of that direction that you might be going in. So the reason I wanted to talk about this today is, so last year, I think I moved almost all of my technical aspects of my business. It was a massive project, and there was a lot of head scratching. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of, like, which shall I do? Trying to decide what was kind of the best thing for me and my business. And it wasn't easy, to be fair. It was not easy. However, I know that there are other people kind of in my community and people that I help and my clients that they are either kind of about to set up a site, or again, other people that are kind of other business owners that I'm friends with and stuff. And so I just wanted to kind of talk about this to help you to see, is maybe if you have got a site, have you thought about the things that come with it? The pros and the cons and things like that. Or if you're not setting up a site yet, it might help just alleviate some of that stress that I might have and save you the pain that it can be of moving a website and stuff. So we're talking about self-hosted or a managed platform. So I'll define what those things are first, and then we'll get into kind of the pros and cons of both, and then some things to consider when you're thinking about your tech stuff. It's not just your website that's involved. There's a lot more to it with that. Okay. So first off, let's just talk about self-hosted sites. A self-hosted site is something that you will be in charge of, essentially. You will be hosting it, and so you can there's various different sites out there. I'll put a whole list of resources for both of these things in the show notes for this episode, just to help you out, so I don't have to necessarily cover all of those pieces in this video, but in the show notes there'll be a whole section for resources that I have used that I recommend for both kind of sides of the coin. So basically, a self-hosted site, it normally tends to be WordPress, and you pay for the site to be hosted, which means you're basically taking ownership of everything, of managing it, of setting it up, of all the updates and stuff that comes with it. And I'll talk more about that when we kind of get into the pros and cons. But you're owning it fully, if you like. Okay, it's your responsibility for everything. Then you've got a managed platform where you kind of just you're paying a fee, but it's all taken care of. So somebody else, the owners of the company manage it all for you. And so you will then just set up an account on whichever platform you might use, and it's kind of taken care of. So, but again, there's pros and cons to both of these things, which I'm going to go into now. So for those of you that have a website, I'm curious to know, which have you gone for? Have you got a self-hosted site, or are you on like a managed platform? I'd love to kind of hear what you've got right now, and also share with me what was the decision behind that, because I'm just curious. So let's talk about self-hosted sites, and I'm going to talk about the pros and cons. So I'll start by talking about what are the pros of a self-hosted site. So number one is you're in full control of everything. You are in full control of your site, which definitely can have its perks. You can add plugins and different functionality so that you can really customize your site for what you need. There are so many plugins that can create different things. For example, you might want a membership site. You might want to build a course on your self-hosted website. And all of these things will need additional plugins which enable that functionality. And so you've got a lot more control, because there are thousands and thousands of different plugins. So you can very much then cherry pick what you want on your website. So you've got that control over it. You can customize it however you like. And you can also choose various different themes that go on top of the basic WordPress stuff. So again, you can have a platform that suits you. So when I used self-hosted, I had WordPress with Thrive themes, which is a great package. I used to have my hosting with GoDaddy, but I would definitely recommend SiteGround, much more affordable. And I added on these different plugins. So when I was at that point of wanting to create my first course, well, I needed to have a way to be able to take payments. I needed to be able to have somewhere I could create my course content. I needed a membership site to sort out, people having access and passwords and all that kind of stuff. And so those were additional plugins that I added. So it's great in terms, like I say, you have more control over it. Now, some of the downsides of a self-hosted website is with these additional plugins and functionality comes more complexity to your site. And this was one of the things that I found myself going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And the more I added, the more complex things was getting, and I was getting myself in a bit of a tiz. I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with trying to find the right things that could integrate together and these different platforms talk to each other. So it can add more complexity to your site. You will have to pay for your hosting. You'll have to pay for a security certificate, which makes your website secure. You will have to pay for any additional charges for these different plugins, so it can be more pricey when you start adding all of these extra things on. Like I mentioned, you've got to then be in control of the hosting. So any updates, any backups, any issues that might potentially happen, sometimes things happen and your website might go down. You're in charge of that. You've got to be the problem solver and figure it out. Obviously, your hosting platform will have a support team to help you, but the buck kind of, lies with you, starts with you, whatever the saying is. That's down to you. So, and that can have a bit of, again, if you're not that confident with technical stuff, that may be a little bit overwhelming for you. So again, there's pros and cons of stuff. I love, there's things that I prefer about self-hosted. But then there are some of the things that I got with the managed site that actually made that precedent. So that's the pros and cons of a self-hosted site. Now let's talk about managed websites instead. So a managed website, like I mentioned, it's where you will choose, and there's so many out there. So for example, there's some things like Wix, Squarespace, trying to think of some others now. The one that I use is called Symvoli, which I love. So you then will just pay a fee and someone else is going to take care of it for you. So in terms of the pros, that's one of the pros, is that somebody else takes care of all of that for you. Somebody else is going to be backing up your website every day. Somebody else is going to be dealing with making sure that your site is secure. And so if any issues come along, they're the ones that you'll go to and they'll be working on it for you. So again, it takes a lot of that pressure off and responsibility off your shoulders. A lot of the time, they're much simpler to use. And again, so depending on what you need in your business, which we'll talk more about in a mo when we talk about things to consider. But the one that I use has got multiple functionalities that give any business owner that's doing stuff online needs, a course builder, needs a checkout to be able to take payments, a CRM, funnels, website. It's got so many different things that it's much simpler, which for me was the winner in my eyes. When I was thinking about moving, I decided to go for simplicity. You'll just pay one fee for the site and the functionality that you need and a lot less stress. So those are some of the pros of having a managed site. So less stress, it can be cheaper, and someone else can take care of the responsibilities off your shoulders, which when you're running a business, we want less things on our shoulders, don't we? So then some of the downsides, though, when it comes to having a managed site instead. So you have less control over what you have included on your site and the functionality. So if there's some specific things that you want and you can't find that on a managed platform, it may not be the right thing for you. but you do have less control. But again, it's about finding the right platform. There are lots out there. Some will be super, super simple and it's just a website. There are others, like the one that I use, where there is multiple different things. And that was what drew me to it. So there's less control. Sometimes it can be more expensive, but a lot of, not always. Again, it depends on what you need, and that can deter whether it's going to be cheaper or more expensive for you. And again, the one that I use is incredibly competitive pricing wise. So I saved money by moving my site and it became simpler. One of the downsides as well is that you're then reliant on somebody else to provide upgrades and updates. So with a self-hosted one, it's down to you and any team you might have. You can just kind of push updates straight away and do anything. Whereas with a managed one, you've got to wait for the owners, the developers or whatever, to provide any upgrades to your site. Which can sometimes be a bit of a downside. And sometimes you can have limitations on storage, how many users, how many things. So that's obviously where they have their pricing tiers based on, again, on what you need. But you can have a very simple website for a very small price. Obviously, the more complexity and the more things that you need, and the larger your business in terms of if you need more members, if you need more websites and stuff like that, then obviously the price is going to go up. So some things to consider, again, there's from my research and kind of ball ache stuff I did last year, I realized one thing: there is no one perfect platform. I tried and it just doesn't exist. So again, that perfectionism, I had to let that go. And I did a lot of research. I did a lot of spreadsheets, pros, cons, looking at pricing, the functionality. I mean, my God, you probably would have slapped me if you'd have seen me last year. Like I said, it wasn't fun to move. But some of the things that you might need to consider. First off is your experience or skills to be able to host your own site. If you feel quite confident in, if you're a resourceful person, like I had never built websites before 5 years ago. I had never, done self-hosted stuff, but I'm a very resourceful person and I figure stuff out. So I figured it out, but there were things that I was like, this is above my head and was a bit daunting. So consider that, consider your experience or skill sets to host your own site. Also consider the time that it can take to figure it all out, to set it up, to build it, to figure it all out, to try and learn any new platforms or skills and things. You'll also need to consider your budget because, again, you might want the world, but does your budget allow for that? So budget will also be a contributing factor to your decision as well. Also think about the functionality that you need in your site now, but also in the future. Because I would say, again, from my experience, is think about what you can grow into. You want to think about the long term because you don't want to be moving your site and all your content all the time. It's just not effective. So I would highly recommend that you think about the direction of the business you'd like to go in, and does whichever platform you choose support that? And also have a think about, will you be taking care of things yourself or having somebody else do things for you? So for example, are you going to pay someone to build your site and take care of it? Or do you want to do it yourself? So consider how much involvement you want to have and will have, or about outsourcing as well. So lots of things to consider. Like I say, there is no perfect solution. There's no perfect platform. Like I mentioned, so the reason I moved last year was one, I was, like I say, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the complexity. I had my website, which was a self hosted site. I added a membership plugin, which I needed help to get set up because it was, again, it was a bit over my head. I moved email platforms, email autoresponder platforms. And then my membership site didn't integrate with that on the level that I needed. And then so I had to move again. And so that complexity of different softwares talking to each other and integrating with each other was just pissing me off, to be honest. And I was just like, oh, this is getting really annoying because I was spending so much time moving other things to try and fit. And then a company that I do a lot of work for actually partnered with a platform. And because I'm the technical mentor inside of that company, um, I was the person that was going to be helping other people set up their site. So obviously I needed to learn how to use it. And I really liked how simple it was. I really liked the different functionality that it had. And actually it kind of took me from having maybe 4 different things. So hosting the website, email autoresponder, a checkout, membership site. Yeah, probably 5 to 6 different things down to I could have done one, but there were some things that weren't quite there yet with the platform that I moved to, but it's still more than halved the complexity. So I was craving simplicity. And so in the end, after doing some sums, I was saving money and I was getting simplicity, but I did have to sacrifice a couple of things. So, like that control piece, I had to sacrifice some of the functionality. But the cool thing about the platform that I use now is they're always working on updates. So, they have literally just released an email autoresponder inside of the platform, which is cool. So, because I did so much moving last year, I'm not moving anything else yet. But I might well do. Again, it's going to simplify things even more. So, my biggest advice to anyone is think about that. Think about what you need for your business. Like I said, there are pros and cons for both. I would recommend both. Like I say, I'll put resources to both sides of things in the show notes. And you've got to do what's right for you because some people may not need all the things that are there in the platform that I use. But for most online business owners, the platform that I used and swapped over to really does cover it all, the majority of it. Like I say, and I know they're always working on updates. So the course builder piece wasn't quite right. So I have got that on another platform for now. But once they do that upgrade, I will definitely be moving. So I have still got a couple of extra pieces that aren't in that one central place, but I've massively reduced the complexity, the stress off my shoulders, which was worth the massive project of actually moving my site and funnels. So lots of things to think about. So what I wanted to do, just kind of in this second piece, is just give you a bit of a tour and a bit of an overview of the platform that I use. I love it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen if that's okay and kind of show you around for those of you that may be interested in what I use. I get lots of compliments about my website, which is cool. And I really do love this platform. Okay, so this is my website. So for those of you that have been on my site, this is it. Now, inside of this platform, it's a very simple kind of drag and drop builder. Everything is movable, like I can literally drag and drop things. I can add blocks. There's all of these different widgets. It's really simple to use. The thing I love about it that one of the things that I wanted to move was there's a whole extra space for funnels. So if you have got different funnels and like things to be in kind of a central place, then this platform could be an awesome option for you. So here I've got, I mean, look at all of these beautiful. So I've got all these funnels for free lead magnets, for webinars, for courses of mine, various different things. And so I love the fact that I can come in here and I can basically see the different steps. So you can set up your funnel in steps. Whereas when you're using WordPress and you're using a self-hosted site, it's all just as pages. So my pages, I just had loads of them, and it annoyed me that I couldn't organize things and just keep things together as simply. The other thing I love is that you can see the metrics as well. You can see the numbers of people that are seeing your pages, are opting in and stuff like that. So I love the analytics here to be able to see, okay, well, I can easily see that I get a 74% opt-in rate of one of my freebies, which is awesome. And so it's great to be able to do that and see everything. I've then got sales pages. So I love the fact that I can create these steps inside of these, single places, which is so much easier to manage. And then I've got my website, and then I've got all of my pages, which again, I can organize into folders, which is great. I've also got the blog on there, so I can have all of my blog posts. You can also set up products, courses, so you can create courses, physical products, memberships, stuff like that. You can have that all in here as well. You can also have a CRM, so you can manage all of your contacts and have that all in here as well. Set up members for private, and say if you want to restrict access to certain of your courses that you build in here, you can do all of that in here. You can also set up online booking events. So I currently do still use Calendly rather than this inbuilt one, purely because I have two calendars. I have my kind of contract calendar, and it doesn't allow you to check conflicts against two calendars, unfortunately, at the moment. And so for me right now, I have to have that. So I still use Calendly, but this is, if you only have one calendar, then you can absolutely, again, utilize this platform. So it's saving all of those little subscriptions. If you're spending £10 a month on Calendly and you're spending, I don't know, however much money for something like lead pages, and now, oh, could you try again? Siri thinks I'm talking to him. I'm not talking to you. And literally only a couple of weeks ago, they've just now released a email autoresponder. So I was creating some tutorials and I accidentally sent a load of people a random test email. So if that was you, I apologize. So now there's actually an email autoresponder built into this platform, which is fab. So you can create your broadcast automations. And so for one, whether it's monthly or an annual price, you get all of this and it's in the one place, which I love. I've also got, so we have a caravan down at the beach. So I've also got a website for that. Whereas with a self-hosted website, I needed two hostings. I needed kind of two of everything, which was really annoying. Two logins. I just have one login and I can have up to 3 websites, which is fab. So it's just, I freaking love it. And you can, it's got everything that you need. So it's like I say, for people who are on, running an online business, doing this kind of thing, coaching, creating courses, affiliate marketing, whatever you're doing, this has literally got everything that you need. And so the link that I put in the description, in the comments, it is an affiliate link. So you can even sign up to be an affiliate for this platform. So if you love it too, you can sign up to be an affiliate and then share it and actually then make some, some commissions from it. But if you're like me, like I only promote stuff when I love it. So I love this platform. So if you like the look of this, like I say, I can literally add in so many things. And now, even now, they've just added quizzes and surveys you can do. There's all of these different, there's so many different functionalities that you can do. And it's so simple to use. I absolutely love it. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you to see like why I love it. And if having a managed platform is something that you're considering, this platform is freaking amazing. Let me just stop sharing my screen a sec. Yeah, so I personally highly recommend Simvoli, S-I-M. I'll just bring this up. So there is a link there that you can go to, jennystevenscoaching.com/Simvoli. I haven't used any other managed platforms. I know, like I say, I mean, you can create like a free website on something like Wix, but I have heard it's not great. There's things like Squarespace. There is even a managed WordPress. But I can't kind of talk to those things because I've not personally used them. The only managed platform I've used is this, Simvoli, and I love it. And it is so much simpler compared to WordPress. Like I say, I had to lose a couple of things that I did like, but the pros outweighed the cons. So it kind of made my decision. And especially now that they've got this, they're adding more and more amazing features. It really is one of the top dogs in my opinion. So highly recommend it. And for when people do buy, if they decide to sign up with an account through one of my links, I do offer support because I'm an expert and I'm a specialist in that platform. I offer support where you can ask me questions and I can do some kind of Q&A sessions with people. So that's something that I offer someone exclusively through me. So if you did decide to create an account, then when it's through kind of one of my referral links, then I offer some kind of exclusive support through that as well to help you out, which is great. So definitely go and check it out. I love it. But equally, like I say, it's got to be what's right for you. I have used both. And like I mentioned, there are pros and cons. So really think about your own business. And if you're not sure, you can always send me a message and I'll give you a genuine recommendation based on what you need. Because for some people, having a self-hosted might be more effective. It might be more beneficial. So have a think about that. And hopefully this just gives you some extra insights, some things to consider that maybe you haven't before. But yeah, I love it. Like even simple things like adding your Facebook pixel, you just add in one pixel ID and whereas I used to have to add all this code to pages before. So for simplicity, for beginners, a managed site, you need less experience, you need less technical skills. So if you do want to create something yourself, then I would highly recommend a managed platform, and particularly the platform that I use. But I'm happy to answer any questions if you've got any questions about either one. Obviously, I can't show you the self-hosted because I haven't got my account anymore. That I swapped over in September last year. But yeah, I definitely made the right decision because, like I say, there's sort of stress. I'm a technical person. I'm a techie person. But even there were things and I was just like, I don't understand this. I don't quite get how I need to make these two things talk. So it's much simpler now, which for most people, that's a big goal and a big thing is keeping things simple. So if you are one of these people that you're considering setting up a website, or maybe you have, but you're like, I don't know if this is the right platform for me, I don't really quite know what I'm doing, then you've got some options now to see from recommendations. It's always good to be able to see what you can do. And you can set up a free trial and you can have a play and you can see what you like, your own personal preference with that. So again, I'll put resources to my recommended self-hosted site hosting, all that kind of stuff, as well as the managed platform link that I use. I'll put all of that in the show notes of this week's episode. So check around this video for the link to those show notes, and you'll be able to get access to that as soon as they're ready. All right. Well, I hope you found this useful. Do share any takeaways that you got, or if you know anyone else has been talking about setting up websites and you think they might find this useful, then all kind of shares are appreciated, and tags and stuff. And thank you for all the likes and loves. Appreciate all of that as well. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and have a fab rest of your week. And I'll see you all next week on another episode of the Brilliantly You Business Show. Take care. Bye.